It's the Kyle Hyman Show on Redeemer Radio.
This is Kyle Hyman, and join us to talk about a very interesting performance that is coming to town based on C.S. Lewis's The Great Divorce is Olivia Kruse. Thanks for being here, Olivia.
Thank you.
So I have to admit, I don't know much about ballet, but I am really curious to learn more about this and what you have going on here. But how long have you been doing ballet?
I think I started in kindergarten. It's been kind of as long as I can remember.
What do you like most about it?
Well, for me, it's the best way I can express myself. It's so much fun to be able to dance to music, and just with this ballet especially, we're kind of encompassing a wide range of emotions, so it's really artistically pleasing to do this ballet.
That's really interesting, because I don't really think of it, and then this may be my ignorance showing, but I don't think of it as being so much of storytelling as much as just an artistic, maybe more abstract performance. So in what ways do you tell stories through dance whenever you don't have some kind of dialogue to help tell the story? Yeah,
well, the music actually plays a big part, depending on if it's sharp and more man-made with like synthetic instruments, or if it's like a beautiful chorus of strings and horns. It makes the difference with the movement style. And then costumes come in to kind of differentiate each different character depending on what they're wearing. And also varies on, like, if we wear point shoes or if we're barefoot or in flat shoes, it kind of depends. All of those pieces kind of come together to create the characters.
So tell me about the Ballet 5/8 and what is a Christian ballet company?
Yeah, so Ballet 5/8, we're located in Chicago. It operates just like any other professional ballet company. We have class in the morning, we rehearse, we take the ballets on tour, and we perform. But the amazing part for me to be a part of this organization is that it's a place where the gifts of dance that all the dancers have been given, they're not being used in a selfish way or in a vain way. They're being used to glorify God. So all the ballets we're doing are stories that are reflecting back something in the gospel, something in some story that's hoping to show the audience God, and a little bit of beauty and goodness. And I think we need more meaningful art in the world. So it's really rewarding to be a part of Ballet 5/8.
Yeah, totally agree. Can you explain how it's different? Like how one ballet performance might be more self-serving and one might be more telling the story and leading others to God?
Of course, yeah. So for this story specifically, where we're showing this story, and at the end of the ballet, the characters finally make it to the gates of heaven. And it's just a story that's trying to show the glory of God's love. And other ballet performances, more secular companies, it's not all the time, but can really focus on the vanity of, like, look how high my leg can go, look at how many turns I can do, even some choreography kind of manipulating the dancers and not being abusive, but not showing goodness to the other person, where ballet can also be this wonderful art form where the men lift the women, and without each other, they wouldn't be able to do the steps on their own type of thing, and showing this relationship, how God wants men and women to treat each other. And so our Ballet 5/8, our company, is really trying to put the light back in this art form that can sometimes be pretty self-centered. And we're trying to, it's not about us, it's about giving and trying to tell a beautiful story for the audience, and most importantly, to the Lord.
So are all of the dancers Christian then, or do you have some people that are just believe in the mission and like to be a part of it and are part of the team?
Currently, everyone dancing, everyone on staff is Christian, but we are open to anyone joining. It's just the mission is so close to heart that anyone who would join would have to be on board with the mission of the company.
Do you think that ballet has some kind of an advantage over what I would call more traditional storytelling of either a book or a movie or a play, that dance is able to do something or tell a story in a different way or leave it open to interpretation in a different way that these other methods aren't able to do?
Yeah, it's fun. Well, just because in ballet, everyone on stage, no one's talking. So it can be a little daunting sometimes to kind of take the spoken word out of the storytelling, but then I feel like that highlights every other aspect. We're able to not only, like if the emotion we're trying to convey is sadness, it's not only just shown on our face or by what other art forms would use dialogue or something of that. We're trying to embody that whole emotion in our movement, and then feeding that into the costuming and the musics and the lighting, all these things. They kind of all mesh together into this world that you can kind of get lost in without any talking going on all at the same time.
Yeah. We're talking with Olivia Kruse. The ballet performance is called The Space in Between, and it tells the story from C.S. Lewis, The Great Divorce. Can you explain what the story of The Great Divorce is and then how that was interpreted into this performance of The Space in Between?
Yes. So C.S. Lewis, The Great Divorce, it's kind of similar a little bit to Dante's Inferno. It follows the narrator on a journey from hell all the way up to heaven. Kind of, he goes on a bus. He goes on a bus ride up this mountain all the way up to heaven, and he meets the different characters, different spirits, different ghosts along the way, as C.S. Lewis has written it. And we've tried to, our director, Juliana Slager, she's taken this story by C.S. Lewis and tried to pick as many details as possible without overwhelming, because it's only a 45-minute ballet, so we can't fit the whole detail of the novel on stage, but trying to take the details and show the narrator coming in on this town. It's called Greytown in C.S. Lewis's story, where it's constantly raining. Everyone in Greytown is in it for themselves, which this is C.S. Lewis's version of hell, and anyone can just pick up and move farther away from each other. It's very chaotic and also self-serving, and the narrator sees this and is taken up farther and farther the mountain, leaving Greytown, and starts to see more in color, starts to feel a wider range of emotion and joy, and meets these characters that aren't quite ready to let go of their own selfish desires, and they keep choosing Greytown. They're not ready to let go of their selfishness, basically. And so the narrator continues to go up this journey, seeing the sadness of sin, but then finally makes it to the gates of heaven and sees everything in its glory. And it's been really rewarding to dance, because C.S. Lewis's book was so fun to read, but now I feel like I understand it even better because I've kind of been able to jump into the story a little bit.
When did you first read it?
I read it this summer. Once I found out we were going to be dancing it, I took on the book.
Do you think for people that are going to come to the performance, would it be helpful to read the book beforehand?
Yeah, it would it's an amazing book, so I would recommend it to anyone. But we do have in our program a little write-up of kind of a summary of what's going on, and I would say that would help just to be able to follow the different characters and storyline.
So what do you like most about the story?
There's something really fun. I play a character both in hell, and then I have a costume change into a character in heaven. So that juxtaposition of playing a character who's just really selfish and all about themselves, and then getting to do a quick costume change and go back out on stage and completely change into completely being joyful and glorifying God with this dance. It's been really fun to play with the chaos and the abandon, the freeness that the heaven dance really showcases.
And has that helped you to learn anything or understand heaven and hell better?
Yeah, it's been really fun. I think the biggest thing I've gotten out of it is just the importance of community and of true friendship. Dancing in the Greytown section, the hell section, there's so many people on stage, but every interaction you have with all the dancers is so consuming about yourself, not looking out for one another at all. And then on the flip side, getting to dance in the heaven scene, it's such a camaraderie experience. There's just the same amount of number of dancers on stage, but we're completely flipped on how we're relating to one another. And I think that's really helped in my faith life, just knowing it's so important to take as many people with us as we can on our journey and build each other up.
Yeah. So when you're performing, do you perform with live music or is it pre-recorded?
It is pre-recorded. That would be a dream one day to be able to do it with an orchestra. That would be amazing.
And how many people are part of the performance?
We have 13 full company members, and then we also have about 12. They're called trainees. They're just graduated high school, and they're getting a few more years of ballet training before going off into the company full-time professionally. So there's about 25 of us on stage.
And why should people come to the performance that's coming to Fort Wayne?
I think it's just an amazing opportunity to get to see live theater and to just lose yourself in an art form that's coming at you live on stage. But specifically the space in between, it's showing the goodness of God's love and of heaven and of all that we've been given, and also is showing what happens when we turn away from God's love. But it's so much fun to dance, so I hope people enjoy it as much as I enjoy dancing it.
Yeah. All right. Well, how can people find out more information about it, get tickets, and come to the show?
Yeah, our website is ballet58.org. There's tickets online. There'll also be tickets at the box office on the day of the show, which is November 3rd on a Saturday.
All right, and that's going to be at the First Presbyterian Theater, downtown Fort Wayne?
Yes.
And I didn't ask what the 5/8 stands for.
Oh, that's for Romans 5:8.
Romans 5:8.
Named after Romans 5:8, yes.
Which says what?
Basically, God's love. He loves us so much that he's willing to die for us. And so everything that we do at Ballet 5:8 is trying to reflect that Bible verse.
Very nice. All right. Well, again, you can go to ballet58.org to find out more information about it, pick up some tickets. It's going to be November 3rd at First Presbyterian Theater, downtown Fort Wayne. Thank you so much, Olivia Kruse, for joining us today and sharing this with us. I think it sounds like a lot of fun.
Thank you so much.